I woke up at 3 o'clock a.m. to 17 missed calls from my credit card company's fraud department. My chest tightened as I checked my phone and saw a charge alert. $11,990 for business class flights to Hawaii. My mother's family reunion trip. The same trip where just yesterday she told me that if I couldn't afford the $890 economy ticket, I should simply stay home. My hands trembled as the truth hit me. She used my card while I was asleep. I sat alone in the small kitchen of my Phoenix apartment, coffee turning cold in front of me, staring at the charge on my laptop. The blue light hurt my eyes, but I couldn't look away. $11,990. The number felt unreal. I kept refreshing the page, hoping it would vanish even though I knew it wouldn't. My name is Clifford. I'm 28, work as an IT consultant, and apparently, I had just become the surprise sponsor of a family vacation I couldn't afford. The previous day replayed in my mind. Sunday dinner at my mother's house in Scottsdale. Patricia, my mother, 55, always perfectly dressed in her real estate blazers and flawless makeup, had gathered me and my younger sister Amanda for what she called an important announcement. Standing at the head of the dining table, wine glass in hand, she told us about the upcoming Hawaii reunion. 3 generations on Maui for a week. She pulled up the travel website on her tablet and showed us the resort, dates, and flight options. Economy seats, $890 each. Everyone had to book their own tickets by the end of the week. Amanda, 25, endlessly enthusiastic about anything that boosted her social media content, immediately started talking about upgrading to business class. She made her income as an influencer, posting lifestyle and fashion content to her 70,000 followers. Hawaii would be perfect for her brand, she said. I remember doing quick mental math. $890 wasn't impossible, but it was tight. I had just spent $1,800 on car transmission repairs. My budget was stretched already. I told her I needed to check my finances first. Her expression shifted instantly, disappointed, irritated. She put her wine glass down harder than necessary. If you can't afford it, stay behind, she snapped. We're not waiting for you to get your money sorted. Amanda laughed, her usual high-pitched giggle when she thought someone else's discomfort was funny. You're always broke, Cliff. How do you even manage with that job? I made $68,000 a year. Not wealthy, but not broke. Amanda, however, lived in her own world. Brand gifts, sponsored deals, and rent split with 3 roommates in a trendy Tempe apartment her followers thought she paid for alone. I left dinner early, feeling small and embarrassed. I told myself I'd figure out the ticket later. I just needed a few days. But staring at my laptop screen at 3:30 a.m., I realized why my mother had been so dismissive. She never planned for me to book my own ticket. She had already booked it, along with her own, Amanda's, and apparently several more. My hands shook as I called her. She answered on the 5th ring, irritated. What? Do you know what time it is? Why is there an $11,990 charge on my credit card? I asked, trying to stay calm. Silence. Then a sigh, as if I were being unreasonable. I put everyone's tickets on one card for a group discount, she said casually. You'll pay me back. I used your card because mine is maxed out this month. Her words hit like a punch. You used almost $12,000 without asking me. It's for the family. Stop being selfish. Amanda is going. Your cousins are going. Your aunts are going. You always make everything about money. Mom, I don't have $12,000. You have a good job, you'll be fine. I already told everyone you're treating the family. They're all so grateful. Don't embarrass me by backing out. My stomach dropped. You told them what? That my generous son is paying for everyone's flights. They've been texting you. I checked my messages. 12 unread texts. Relatives thanking me, calling me generous, proud, supportive. I never agreed to this, I whispered. Well, it's done. Don't ruin this for the family because you're being stingy. She hung up. I sat in my dark kitchen, feeling something inside me snap. Not heartbreak, something colder. Whatever belief I had that my mother cared about my well-being was gone. She hadn't just used my card. She had trapped me, publicly committed me to a financial burden I never agreed to, counting on my unwillingness to embarrass her. I checked my bank account. $2,300 left. Rent, $1,200 due in 12 days. Car payment, $385. Student loans, $290. Utilities, groceries, gas. I did the math 3 times. The result didn't change. I would have to use another credit card just to survive the month. My savings, the one I'd... At 6:00 a.m., as the sky turned purple, I called the travel agency. Carol, the agent, pulled up the details. Yes, Patricia called 2 days ago, she said. She provided your full card information and said she was booking on behalf of her son. Everything matched. Card number, expiration, security code, billing address. Is this fraud? She asked. Was it? Legally, probably. Emotionally, it felt worse. Betrayal. What are my cancellation options? She typed. The booking is beyond the 24-hour full refund window. Cancellation now is 40% of the cost, $4,796. $4,796 just to cancel something I never wanted. I thanked her and hung up. How had my mother gotten my card information? I never gave it to her. I was always careful after past experiences. Then I remembered. 3 months earlier, she called in a panic. Her card was declined for her car insurance payment. She begged me to cover it just this once and promised to repay me. I read my card number to her over tea. She never paid me back, and she kept the card details. I went to work on 2 hours of sleep. Marcus, my colleague, immediately noticed something was wrong. I told him everything. He looked horrified. That's fraud, he said. Call the police, call a lawyer, do something. But every option felt impossible. Accuse my own mother? Anger the entire family? Let her get away with it and ruin myself financially. That evening, I went to her house. Amanda opened the door, phone out, recording an Instagram story. Cliff is here, she chirped. We're telling everyone about our amazing Hawaii trip. So excited he's making this happen for us. My stomach twisted. She had already posted about it. My mother looked up from the kitchen, wine glass beside her. We need to talk, I said. If you're here to complain about the flights, I'm not listening, she snapped. Mom, I can't afford this. You know I can't. Cancel the tickets and let everyone book their own. She faced. I already told everyone you're paying. They're grateful. They're proud. Do you know how good it feels to finally have a son who steps up for his family? I'm not stepping up. You forced me into this. I did what I had to do. You would have said no. You're selfish with money. A ridiculous accusation. I had helped her financially many times. This is different, I said. This is $12,000. Amanda entered the room. Why are you being so dramatic? It's family. Family helps each other. She used my card without permission, I said. Amanda shrugged. She said she was coordinating everything. My mother suddenly started crying. After everything I did for you, she sobbed. After raising you alone, after all my sacrifices, you can't do this one thing? The guilt washed over me. She had struggled when I was young, but that didn't justify what she had done. I care about the family, but this isn't okay. Amanda stepped closer. You're being selfish. Mom did something nice, and you're ruining it. I looked at both of them, united in their manipulation. I'm disputing the charge, I said. The tears stopped instantly. My mother's face hardened. If you do that, I'll tell the whole family what you did. I'll show them the texts where you agreed to pay. They'll never forgive you. What texts? I never agreed. She showed me screenshots of fake conversations. Messages supposedly from me offering to pay for everyone's flights. The texts looked real. You're lying, I said. Prove it, she replied. Let's see who they believe. Mom and daughter united, Amanda added. We'll both confirm you agreed. I stared at my sister, the same girl I once defended at school, now ready to lie to protect our mother. Why would you do this? I asked. Because family sticks together, she said. And you're not acting like family. I left without another word. At home, I sat in my parking lot for 2. You're being selfish. Mom did something nice and you're ruining it. I looked at both of them, united in their manipulation. I'm disputing the charge, I said. The tears stopped instantly. My mother's face hardened. If you do that, I'll tell the whole family what you did. I'll show them the texts where you agreed to pay. They'll never forgive you. What texts? I never agreed. She showed me screenshots of fake conversations, messages supposedly from me offering to pay for everyone's flights. The texts looked real. You're lying, I said. Prove it, she replied. Let's see who they believe. Mom and daughter united, Amanda added. We'll both confirm you agreed. I stared at my sister, the same girl I once defended at school, now ready to lie to protect our mother. Why would you do this? I asked. Because family sticks together, she said, and you're not acting like family. I left without another word. At home, I sat in my parking lot for 2. My mother had built a perfect trap. If I paid, I was ruined. If I didn't, I was exiled. She had weaponized family loyalty and even fabricated evidence. This wasn't a mistake. It was calculated. For 2 days, my phone buzzed non-stop with messages from relatives thanking me for my generosity. Each message felt like a blade. Then Dennis, my cousin, called to thank me personally. He and his wife lived paycheck to paycheck with 2 young kids. They couldn't afford a Hawaii trip. His gratitude crushed me. I couldn't tell him the truth. I couldn't take that joy from his kids. After the call, I stared at my bank account again. Rent due in 9 days. Groceries would go on a credit card. I prayed nothing unexpected happened. My savings, years of effort, were gone. I was further from stability at 28 than I'd been at 25. On Thursday morning, I called my Aunt Margaret, the calm one in the family. Clifford, sweetheart, she said warmly, your mother told us about your big promotion. Congratulations! I froze. My what? Your promotion. She showed us your offer letter. Senior systems architect with a big raise. That explains how you could afford the trip. She said you wanted to celebrate with the family. My heart pounded. Aunt Margaret, can you send me a photo of that letter? Of course! 30 seconds later, my phone buzzed. It was a forged offer letter. My company's logo, slightly off. Fake formatting, addressed to me, offering me a promotion and a salary of $112,000. My actual salary was $68,000. The position didn't exist. Aunt Margaret, I said, keeping my voice steady with all the strength I had left, I need to tell you, something was wrong. I never received a promotion. The letter was fake, and I never offered to pay for everyone's flights. Mom charged my credit card without my permission. Silence filled the line. Then slowly, Clifford, honey, are you okay? Your mother has been talking about this for weeks. She's been so excited. Why would she lie about this? I don't know, but I'm telling you the truth. I make $68,000 a year. I can't afford flights for everyone. She used my credit card information without asking and charged almost $12,000. More silence. I could hear Margaret breathing, trying to understand what I was saying and reconcile it with what she believed about her sister. That doesn't sound like Patricia, she finally said. But her tone had shifted. Doubt had entered. I know it sounds unbelievable, but it's true. Please check with the others. Ask if anything seems strange. I'll talk to Robert, she said softly. He's good at understanding these things. Robert, her younger brother, was 58, an accountant, practical and detail-focused. If anyone could see through Patricia's story, it would be him. After the call ended, I sat holding my phone, trying to process what I had uncovered. My mother hadn't stolen from me impulsively. She had planned this for weeks. She created a fake promotion story to justify my supposed generosity. She forged a document. She carefully shaped everyone's perception of my financial situation. This wasn't a desperate mistake. It was intentional, thought out, a con. I called her. No answer. I texted. I know about the fake offer letter. We need to talk. She called back immediately. Her voice tight with panic and irritation. Margaret had no right to show you that. You forged a job offer letter. Clifford, I had to make them believe you could afford it. Otherwise, they would have felt guilty accepting. I did this for you. For once, you could look good in front of the family, instead of being the disappointment. The words landed harder than anything else. The disappointment. Is that truly how she saw me? Maybe how she always had. You committed fraud, I said. Point. I did what I had to do. The trip is in 9 days. Everyone took time off. Deposits are paid. You're not ruining this. You ruined it when you stole from me. I didn't steal. Your family. Family shares. Family helps. Why can't you understand that? This isn't help, it's theft. She hung up. As the afternoon light faded, I realized something had shifted. All my adult life, I had tried to be the good son, trying to earn her approval, trying to prove I wasn't a disappointment. She used that need, my vulnerability, as a tool. She knew I wouldn't want to embarrass her. She knew I would feel guilty. She knew I would struggle letting down relatives who were excited for the trip. She calculated all of it. She bet that I would rather ruin myself financially than damage her reputation. For the first time, I wondered if she had made the wrong bet. On Friday, I took a sick day, called my boss, and said I had a family emergency, because it was true. I spent the morning at my kitchen table with 2 years of bank statements spread out. I highlighted every time I had given her money. The pattern was worse than I remembered. Car insurance 3 months ago, $450, never repaid. Last November, $600 for property taxes, also never repaid. 2 years ago, at Christmas, expensive gifts she bought for Amanda, then told me to split the cost since they were from both of us. $800. Last spring. New tires for her car. $300. Never mentioned again. 4 smaller emergency amounts, always between $50 and $150. I added it 3 times. $4,300 in 2 years. None repaid. All collected through guilt. And now she wanted $12,000 more. Marcus came over that evening with pizza and listened to me vent. "You know what bothers me most?" he said. "She knows you won't press charges. She's counting on you valuing peace over your own financial security. That's not love. That's manipulation." "But what if I'm wrong?" I asked. "What if I'm being selfish? Some of them can't afford trips like this. Dennis and his kids, and Helen on a fixed income. If I back out, they lose something special." "That's not your burden. She created this situation. She set false expectations. You're not the bad guy for refusing to be taken advantage of." "It doesn't feel that easy." "It never does when it's family." We ate quietly for a moment. Then he asked the question circling my mind. "What are you going to do?" "I don't know." But I did. Cold, practical ideas were forming. Ideas I didn't think I was capable of, but now felt necessary. After Marcus left, I called my company's contract lawyer, Tom. He specialized in business law, but knew enough about fraud to guide me. I explained everything off the record. "Technically, what she did is credit card fraud," Tom said. "You gave her card info for a one-time use. She kept it and used it later without authorization."
Would I have to press charges?
"That's ill. Could I just dispute it?" "You can file a fraud claim. If they side with you, they'll reverse the charge. However, they may pursue charges against your mother. Once you report fraud, you can't control how they respond." "So she could get a criminal record?" "Possibly. It depends on how aggressive their fraud department is. But Clifford, understand this. What she did was wrong and illegal. You are not responsible for the consequences she faces." I thanked him and hung up, sitting with the weight of what filing a claim meant. Could I be the one whose report might give my mother a criminal record? Saturday morning, I drove to her house. One last attempt to reason with her. One last chance for her to fix this. She was already packing, even though the trip was 9 days away. Clothes laid out. A shopping bag from an expensive boutique sitting on the dresser. New outfits for the trip. Bought with what money? "Mom, please, cancel the business class tickets. Rebook everyone in economy. Let each person pay for themselves. I'll pay my own ticket, the original $890. I can't afford $12,000. "It's already done, Clifford. Everyone's excited. Why can't you just let it go?" "Because it's putting me in debt." "You'll recover. You're young. You have a good job." "I don't have the job you told them I have. I don't make $112,000. You lied." She waved it off. "I exaggerated a little. They needed to believe you could afford it." "That wasn't exaggeration. It was a fabricated document. Stop being dramatic." "I'm disputing the charge." She froze, turned fully, her expression shifting to something cold, almost satisfied. "Go ahead, dispute it. I'll show everyone these." She pulled up her phone. The group chat, the fake conversation. But she scrolled further. Weeks of fabricated messages, screenshots of me discussing my promotion, raise, and plan to treat the family. These look real. Dot, dot, dot. "So did Helen and Robert. They believe you offered. If you back out, I'll show them everything. Who do you think they'll believe?" I stared at her, this woman I once thought I understood, and realized I was looking at someone I didn't recognize. "You planned this," I said. "I planned a wonderful trip. I made it possible. You should thank me. You stole from me. I borrowed. There's a difference. Amanda knows, right? She knows you took my card?" My sister stepped into the doorway. "I know Mom arranged the bookings," she said. "I know she was trying to do something nice. Did you know she forged a letter? Did you know she charged my card without permission?" Amanda looked at Mom. Something silent passed between them. "I know Mom sometimes has to be creative to support this family." Creative. That was the word she chose. Not fraudulent, not illegal. Creative. They had chosen their side, mother and daughter, and I was alone. "You're going to regret this," I said. "Are you threatening me?" Patricia asked, suddenly sounding hurt. "Is my son threatening me?" "I'm telling you that actions have consequences." I left before they could respond. I drove home and made a decision. I was done being the good son, done protecting family harmony at my own expense, done letting guilt dictate my life. If she wanted to play games, I would play, but I would play to win. Saturday evening and all day Sunday, I built my case. Documentation, evidence, everything. I filed a fraud dispute with my credit card company, explaining the unauthorized charge and attaching screenshots where she admitted her card was maxed out and she used mine instead. I included the timeline showing when I originally gave her my card information months earlier. 4 hours later, I got an email. The investigation was open and they issued a temporary credit. The $11,990 was back in my available balance, for now. Then, I'm mad. Not to the group chat my mother controlled. Private calls to family members who might listen. Dennis first. I explained everything. The unauthorized charge, the fake promotion letter, the manipulation. I sent bank statements, the forged document, and the timeline. He was silent for a long time. I wouldn't have accepted if I knew any of this. It's not right. I know you're not asking us to cancel, but I'm sorry, Cliff. What are you going to do? I'm going to make sure the truth is known. Over the next day and a half, I called 7 relatives: Aunt Helen, Cousin Rachel, Uncle Robert, Cousin Mark, Aunt Margaret again, and others I barely knew but who were part of the trip. Most were shocked. A few doubted at first. But I sent them all the same evidence. Uncle Robert was the most insightful. He analyzed everything and then said something that changed everything. "Clifford, your mother borrowed $5,000 from me 3 years ago. Said she needed emergency dental work. I never saw it again. When I asked, she avoided me for a year. We only recently started talking again. I let it go to keep peace. But this is a pattern. A pattern of what? Financial manipulation, likely hidden debt. People don't forge documents and max out cards unless they're desperate. Your mother might be in serious financial trouble. I hadn't considered that. I was focused on the theft, the betrayal, but not the why. Why risk her relationship with her son for a trip? Why forge documents? Why manipulate an entire family? Unless the trip wasn't the real goal. Unless it was just another Monday morning, I did something I hadn't done in 5 years. I called my father. Gregory had left when I was 12, divorced my mother, moved to Colorado, remarried, and started a new life. He paid child support, sent birthday cards, and maintained minimal contact. We saw each other for dinner once every couple of years when he visited Arizona. Our relationship was polite but distant. I had blamed him for leaving us, for leaving me alone with Patricia's moods and manipulations. But maybe I hadn't known the whole story. He answered on the second ring. Clifford, is everything okay? Not really. I need to talk about Mom. We spoke for 90 minutes. Gregory was hesitant at first, clearly uncomfortable discussing his ex-wife. But as I explained what had happened, he began opening up. Your mother has always had financial issues, he said carefully. It contributed to our marriage falling apart. She would spend beyond our means, hide purchases, open credit cards without my knowledge. I'd only find out through collection notices. She saw it as survival, he added. I saw it as deception. We couldn't reconcile that difference. Why didn't you tell me this? I asked. You were a kid. I didn't want to turn you against your mother. I hoped she would improve once we divorced and had financial independence. I guess I was wrong. I told him about the forge. The unauthorized $12,000 charge on my credit card, and how my mother tried to guilt me into paying by threatening the family. Gregory was silent for a moment. That sounds exactly like something she would do. I'm sorry you're dealing with this, son. What do you need from me? I'm going to that reunion. I'm telling the truth, and I might need backup. Someone who can confirm this is a pattern, not an isolated incident. When is the trip? In 8 days. Send me the resort info. I'll book a room. I'll be there. After we hung up, I felt something I hadn't felt in weeks. Hope. Not the naive hope that things would magically work out, but the stronger kind that comes from knowing you are not alone. Tuesday afternoon, I contacted the travel agency again. I explained that the credit card company was investigating fraud and the charge would likely be reversed. The agent, Carol, remembered me. Yes, this is fraud. If the credit card company rules in your favor, all tickets will automatically cancel. You should book your own travel if you still plan to go. I had already done that. The night before, I booked an economy ticket on another airline with a card my mother had never touched. $865, direct flight landing in Maui the morning the reunion started. I told no one. This was my insurance, my guarantee that I would attend the final confrontation regardless of the disputed charge. Wednesday evening, 3 days before the trip, the email came. The credit card company had ruled in my favor. The charge was fraudulent. Within an hour, my phone exploded with texts, missed calls, and voicemails from family members who had received cancellation notices. The group chat, created by my mother to coordinate the trip, erupted in chaos. Patricia called me directly, screaming, "What did you do? Everyone's flights are canceled. You ruined everything." I filed a fraud dispute with my credit card company. I said calmly, they agreed it was unauthorized. I'll be at the reunion. I booked my own flight. I'll see you in Hawaii. I hung up before she could respond. Uncle Robert called an hour later. Patricia was trying to control the narrative, saying I agreed to pay and then backed out. But we had compared notes with other family members, and many were starting to see a pattern. We agreed to address the issue together in Hawaii. Some couldn't afford to rebook, and I told him, some people are not going to come. About 12 of us were still planning to attend, and we agreed Patricia needed to be held accountable. Thursday, Amanda texted, "You destroyed everything." I didn't respond. Friday, I packed casual clothes, swimwear, one nice outfit. I felt calm. The panic, guilt, and confusion had crystallized into clarity. I was going to Hawaii, ready to tell my story, letting the family decide who they believed. My mother had underestimated me. She assumed I would choose family peace over integrity. She was wrong. I arrived in Maui early Saturday, checked into the resort, and met my father for lunch. He looked older, grayer, but the hug was real. "You holding up okay?" he asked. I am now. We talked for 2 hours. Honest discussion about my childhood, his marriage, his regrets. We apologized to each other. By the end of lunch, a door had opened. Not everything was healed, but it was a start. That evening, the reunion began. About 15 family members attended, a smaller group than planned. Patricia and Amanda were present, polished and composed. My mother's face went pale when she saw me. Dinner was tense. Patricia tried to control the narrative, speaking about family gatherings despite booking complications, omitting the fact that the issues stemmed from her fraud. After dinner, Uncle Robert called for a family meeting in a small conference room. Patricia tensed. "Exactly the time," Robert said. "We're all here, involved, and deserve the truth. Anyone who wants to understand what really happened should join." By 7:15, 12 of us were in the room. Patricia and Amanda attended, though Patricia looked uneasy. Robert outlined the facts: unauthorized charges, the fake promotion letter, manipulation. I presented my side with evidence: bank statements, texts, the forged offer letter, and the fraud ruling. Patricia tried to interrupt, but Robert maintained order. Others shared experiences, revealing a pattern of financial manipulation and emotional leverage spanning years. Patricia finally broke, crying, not manipulative tears, but raw, desperate ones. "I am $63,000 in debt. I just wanted to show everyone I was okay," she confessed. Margaret gently said, "You needed help, not theft. You made Clifford ashamed instead." I spoke. "I could have helped you if you were honest. You chose manipulation over trust. You chose to hurt me rather than ask for help." Amanda cried, asking why her mother hadn't been honest. Patricia admitted she didn't want anyone to worry. Robert outlined the next steps: financial counseling, a debt repayment plan, and reimbursement for the $3,290 she had pocketed. I agreed to accept $150 per month, no interest, with conditions: therapy, financial counseling, and accountability. The meeting ended with support, but clear boundaries. Amanda apologized to me for enabling her mother. I explained I understood her instinct, but it was wrong. Later, I walked the beach with my father. "You handled that well," he said. "Better than I could have at your age. I'm proud of you for setting boundaries, while leaving room for healing. That takes courage." The rest of the trip was healing in its own way. The reunion continued with honesty. Patricia mostly keeping to herself, Amanda learning lessons about enabling, and my father and I building a real connection. Uncle Robert created a realistic debt repayment plan and committed to holding Patricia accountable. Amanda took steps toward independence. Patricia continued therapy. My father and I maintained regular contact, and I rebuilt my finances carefully. Beyond money, I reclaimed self-worth, recognized the importance of boundaries, and learned protecting yourself is not selfish, it's necessary. Real family does not demand self-destruction. Real love allows space for growth and honesty. Standing up to family is hard, but refusing to enable harmful behavior is one of the most loving choices you can make. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you had to set boundaries with family members, expecting you to sacrifice your well-being? How did you handle it? Share your story in the comments. Your experience could help someone facing the same challenge. If this story resonated with you, like, subscribe for more real-life stories about family dynamics, boundaries, and resilience. Share it with someone who might need to hear that protecting yourself is okay, even from those you love. Remember, you deserve respect and honesty. Sometimes the hardest choice is also the most loving.